And we're back for another G interview. And today on a segment, I have Johari from Chasing Destiny. Isn't she like beat y'all with the makeup and the hair? Like you giving me life right now. You kind of glowing right now. And I'm loving the jacket.
Thank you.
You must have picked the outfit yourself.
You know, I was just like, you know, this is funky and this is simple, and I mixed the two. You know, I just.
All right. Well, I want to get down to it and just talk about your experience on Chasing Destiny with the legendary Kelly Rowland. So tell me a little bit about what you had to do. Like, how was it overall for you? Does it seem real?
Finally, yes.
Okay.
Because for the longest, it just didn't seem real for me. Like, it was unreal. It was like, wow. It was all a big, you know how Oprah says a wow moment? It was exactly that. Like, she was just, you know, really passionate and really, you know, engaged. Like, most people look at a show like this and think, oh, they'll have, you know, their questions and their curiosity, and they'll think, oh, but no, she was extremely engaged. She was very involved with us, and we really built close relationships with each other. We all got to know each other because we were around each other so much. And it really just taught me so much about the music industry, and you know, the relationships that I built with the girls were phenomenal.
So like, what's something you took away from it?
Something I took away from it would be being on at all times. Like, when I got out there, I adjusted to the time difference with LA versus Chicago, which was heavy. And then on top of that, yes. And then on top of that, we started doing rehearsals from 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. Yes. And then the cameras are rolling 24/7. So it's like, you have to just be on, you have to be ready, you know, you can't be tired, you can't think about being hungry, you know.
I mean, but it's 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. Of course you're tired and you're hungry. It's the a.m. It's supposed to be sleep in the a.m.
At like 6 a.m.
Wow. And then what time you have to get back up?
Well, I get back up at I go to sleep at 6, I wake up at about 10. So
you good off of 4 to 6 hours of sleep?
4 to 6 hours of sleep.
All right. Won't he do it? He gave you strength.
I mean, that's how it is, you know, and that's one of the things with the industry that you learn is that these hours, you know, you don't get those beautiful 8 hours, those 10 hours. You get what you can take and
keep it moving.
Keep it moving.
That's wow. So I do want to talk about one moment on the show that was just like so random and that was just so out of the unexpected. When Kelly was calling you off the bus, just first, what was you thinking when she was calling you off the bus just to come talk to her and Frank?
I didn't know. I had no idea what was going on because there was so much going on at that time. We had just got done doing a rehearsal where they wanted us to do poses. And so it was for like this photo shoot or something that they were trying to do. And so I just didn't know. It could have been anything. So I was just like, okay, you know, and I just like to be optimistic, period. Like, I just didn't know what I was walking into. And then as soon as she said it, it was just like, okay. I was content. Like, naturally you would think, you know, I would be like heartbroken or sad, and I was sad. But in that moment, it was nothing that I could do that could change the situation or how it happened. It was God's timing, and I knew that it had to happen for a reason. And I understood that this wasn't the end for me. This wasn't the end all be all. This was my first step to my journey. So I'm just grateful.
So on the show, like even off camera, I see you had a couple of, well, numerous adventures with Kelly, and she taught you how to bow. Right?
Yes,
so
she did.
What else did she teach you how to do that we didn't get to see?
It was really funny. That same night, she had walked over because they were like, you know, order whatever. And, you know, we had been eating salads forever. So I was just like, oh, hallelujah, I can eat whatever I want to. So I was like, can I get some mozzarella sticks? Like, that's all I wanted was some mozzarella sticks. And I was like, can I get some mozzarella sticks? And so I was sitting there eating the sticks, and she walks up and she was like, Johari, can I try one? I was like,
she never had mozzarella
I was like, you haven't had it? I was like, sure. But I was just laughing. She was like, you know, I don't really eat cheese like that. I'm like, okay. I was like, well, you're missing out. This is amazing. So we were sharing it, and she's just like, this is really good. And everybody was looking like everybody was looking like she.
Mozzarella, that's something you like a kid. Like, come on now.
Everybody was just looking like, oh wow, she's sharing with Johari like this. It was just so funny. I was like,
you're sharing food with Kelly Rowland.
But she was just so cool, and so, you know, she was down to earth. like more than anything. Like it wasn't like she was here and we were there. It was like we were all equal through the whole situation. We were all one and the same. Now granted, you know, she's a mega star, she's amazing, but you know, she was just down to earth. She was chill, and she just felt like a big sister.
Right. Yeah. So also on there, she said nothing but great things about your voice all the time. She loved it, she loved it, she loved it. And in one of the episodes when you guys was in the studio just doing your individual solos, she said you had a beautiful tone and that you had so much potential, but you was like waiting for something to happen.
Love right where we are.
When I'm listening to Johari sing, I'm thinking she has so much potential, but you're just waiting for something to happen. So it's kind of frustrating when it doesn't.
Were you waiting for something to happen? Like, was it nerves or were you just holding back?
I'll say this. In that scene, one of the girls performed before me. Her name was Candace.
Okay.
She sung a song by Whitney Houston. And I think we talked about this after me and Kelly. And it was basically, when I hear Whitney Houston, I think about the passing of my grandfather. He passed the day after she did. Like, it was so close in time, and so whenever I hear Whitney Houston's music, it takes me right to that place and I get so emotional. So she was singing the song, and as she was singing, you see a little bit of clip of it, but I had my hands on my face like that, and I was crying because it was making me think of him, and I missed him, and I missed my family, and I just got so emotional, and I was trying to pull myself together, like I can't be on here crying. And so I got up and I just got up and sang because they were like, you know, Johari, it's your turn. But I wasn't checked in. I was still in that moment. I was still sad. I was still thinking about that. I was still trying to hold back my tears, and I just sang anyway. But it was like I was holding back because I wasn't checked in. I wasn't checked in fully, and I wasn't in the moment when I was singing. I was just singing. And you could kind of feel that I wasn't connected to it, or people couldn't connect to it. And that was something that I learned when I think back about it. Like, I have to be connected, even if I have to take a second or take a moment and I have to step away for a second and gather. I have to do that. That moment is so important because you never want people to feel disconnected to you when you're singing something. So I thought about that after, and yeah.
There was also another comment on the show, not gonna say who it was, I'm not throwing any shade, but where they was like, you know, Chicago people are kind of aggressive sometimes, you know, when they approach people with situations and stuff like that. And seeing how you're from Chicago and I'm from Chicago, I was just thinking, it's not exactly true. But I thought I'll just roll with it. Okay, what were some of your thoughts when that statement was said on the show?
I think it just depends on your experience with the Chicago person. Because if you're not from Chicago, you can come across somebody on a bad day and that could, you know, completely paint the picture for you of somebody from Chicago. But I would say this, every place, you know, every state is evolving. You know, everybody's coming in from other places and moving here and leaving there, and it's so integrated here. Like, there's not really a Chicago person or a Chicago ideal. So it's like, I wouldn't say that we're aggressive people. I'm not aggressive. You're not aggressive.
I'm not aggressive. You're not aggressive.
So I would just say it's just a matter of your interaction with somebody that can kind of paint that picture. Because if you think about it, if I was to meet somebody from New York and they're just completely rude to me, or we just don't hit it off the right way, that could paint the picture to me that all New York people are like that. And I think it just has to do with that experience that you get with one person. It can affect your image of the entire place.
Right.
So I don't think it was meant, you know, in a bad way. I just think that because it wasn't hit off in the right way, it, you know, blurred the perception.
Okay, sure. I respect your opinion. Now enough about the show. I want to get to talk more about Johari.
Sure.
So we all know you can sing and you can dance. Can you dance?
Yeah.
Okay, because I just want to make sure you believe you can dance. When are we gonna start hearing some of your music come out? I'm like, I know you do have one song out. Are you gonna come out with more?
I have two.
Two songs
well, I have
out.
4, but 2 of my own single songs.
Right.
I'm gonna be releasing more music this summer. So I want to talk more about this experience, and Chasing Destiny really taught me a lot about sisterhood and a lot about myself and a lot about being a young lady trying to get into the music industry, and just about the struggles we go through comparing ourselves to each other, putting ourselves next to the other person. And I really want to talk about that in this next thing. I really want to kind of use it as something that's geared to young women, young girls, because I have younger sisters, and I'm an identical twin as well. So I want to really I want them to have something to listen to that inspires them to not get caught up in comparing yourself, or being confident in who you are, loving who you are, and recognizing what you bring to the table. So I really want to put all of that into a beat and just give it out.
Okay, that's good. Like, are you talking about any love songs, like any, party songs too?
Yeah, I want to have some
turn up Beyonce songs. How do
Well, I wouldn't say Beyonce, but I would say just some funky, fun stuff.
Some funky tunes. Okay. So
funky. I like you saying funky.
You just like the word. So yeah, you do. You describe your outfit funky as well. You just a funky person. Got the funky hair
70s.
going on.
I just feel like I'm from the 70s or something.
Okay, so what made you and started you to have this love and this passion for music?
I would say my upbringing. My father, he's a teacher, but when we were growing up, he was also a disc jockey. So he had tons and tons of records, and it was inevitable. He would be playing them all the time. If he's cleaning the house, he'd, throw on some music. If my mom's cleaning the house, she throws on music. We're driving. Anywhere that we are, there's music playing. We're hearing something. We're learning about somebody, and we get a full backstory because, my dad wants us to know the history of who the person is.
Right.
So it was just like, wow, I was always really amazed and fascinated with, the different artists that were out and, the people that he really taught us about. And so it was just like, wow, I want to be like those people. And I just always admired it. I was drawn to it. And they kept us involved a lot. We were in the choir. We were in cheerleading. We were in dance. We were in gymnastics, theater. Anything.
What can't you do?
Anything. Well, I'm not great at all of those things. We'll just say I tried those things.
Okay.
They kept us involved in all of those things just so we could get a feel of what works for us and what doesn't. That way we can honestly say we tried it. And I realized that what I loved the most was music.
Right.
And also theater. I really like theater.
Okay, so we're going to be seeing you on Broadway anytime soon?
I wouldn't say Broadway. I do love television and I love film. So I would definitely do, television or film.
Right. And then speaking of television and film, like, I see you already, before Chasing Destiny, correct, that you was on Empire.
Yes.
So please tell me about that experience. That's the hit show everybody loves. I love Empire.
Yeah, I really like Empire a lot. I actually did some extra work on there.
Okay.
So before Chasing Destiny and while I was still in school, I would come home on the weekends and I would just go in and, come in on certain shoot days and just, act as an extra. And it was really fun.
Like, did you get to meet any of the stars?
I did. I ran into Taraji, and she is so gorgeous.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, I love her.
You ran into Cookie. I love Cookie.
Yes.
She didn't beat you with the broom, did she?
No. No, she didn't beat me with the broom. This was for the second season. And one episode I remember, there was a special guest star. I can't remember his name, but he was Hispanic. And he kept speaking to me, like when we were in passing. He kept saying, hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing?
Okay.
And I was like, hi. And she was like, will you stop bothering her? And then she was like, he's such a creep. You can't mind him. And I just started cracking up. I'm like, it's okay. But it was just funny.
You thought she was cute or something.
I mean, sometimes people think I'm older than I am. I'm only 20. So people think I'm like 21, 22, whatever. And when my face is all made up, I look, like an adult.
No, you still like a young girl to me. You're still beautiful. You're still on fleek. Pretty on fleek. Pretty on, yeah, you still look good. So are we going to see you do any more work with film or television as well?
Well, I actually just did a commercial with Always yesterday. And that was awesome. I love the ladies on there. Like, it was great. It kind of reminded me of being on Chasing Destiny a little because it was, it was a bunch of women like in that age group again. And we were, together for the whole day and I got to know them. And it was just great. I love meeting new people and I love shooting. I love doing that type of stuff. So it was just like, awesome.
I am so thrilled for you. Like, check from Empire to Chasing Destiny, shooting commercials. Are you doing anything else that we should know about?
Well, like I said, I am going to release some music this summer.
Okay.
And I want to do more acting. I want to really get more into that as well. I want to channel that and, challenge myself to be great actress, you know. I feel like that's something I have a background in, and why not use it?
True. So where is Johari at today? And how, like, are you happy with everything that's going on? Do you regret anything that has happened to you?
I don't regret anything. I truly believe that everything happens for a reason. I really believe that, you know, it's all in the right timing. So I never regret anything. Now there are times when I look at myself and say, oh, I could have did this, but it's all a lesson. You know, I have to take it and say, you know, I'm gonna do this next time, not I should have done this. But I'm grateful for everything. I'm really happy.
So, like, for my final question, like, what do you have any advice for people who is trying to be in your shoes? Who's trying to put their own music out, who's trying to get on these shows? Like, do you have anything to tell them?
Yes, absolutely. My word of advice would be confidence.
It's key. You're right.
And just kind of when you're doing your own thing, you know, when you're just being you in your most unique way, God works it out.
He does.
And you radiate just in that simple fact of you being you. Not trying to be like whoever's next to you or be better than, or, you know, not doing any of that, and just being you, radiating you just go to a whole nother level. Like, seriously, it just happens like that. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but when you're focused and, you know, you have your heart set on it, it happens.
I just love the fact that you're so positive and that you just have this glow, because when people get told no, they think it's the end of the world.
And it's not.
It's not. I'm like, it's really not.
It's not the end of the world. It's just not right now.
One thing I love, I go to church at Pastor Hannah's New Life, and the one thing I love
that is.
Yes, the one thing I love that he said, he always says it, no doesn't mean no. It just means God is telling you to wait. Right now, it's not your time. Don't think it's all coming to an end. You still got some more learning. You still have some more growing to do.
Absolutely.
Now, like, you know, that just hit the spot.
Absolutely.
I mean, like, there was some times I wanted to just throw away all my cameras and, like, no, this isn't for me.
And
but it's
you're
like,
so talented at what you do.
Oh, thank you, honey. I mean, like, you know what? My big break isn't coming yet. I just got to keep on working and keep on growing.
And it's going to happen.
And then when God said, you know what, I'm going to give you this opportunity, like on E! News, on the red carpet, on BET, then I'm going to give it to you. But as of now, you're going to keep working, you're going to keep on growing. But I do want to thank you for coming on the G interview. Are you glorious now?
I am glorious.
You are glorious.
I've been
glorious.
You've
been, okay, excuse me. She's been glorious. So we are looking forward to your music out in June or in the summer, anytime in the summer.
In the summer.
Just in the summer. No date, no month.
No date, no month.
All right. So when that happens, I will let all of you guys know, and I'm going to put it on my channel. I'm going to write a blog about it. And I just want to thank you. Say goodbye to Johari, y'all. Yes.